Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to Papa J's shop. I'm Papa J. We're going to have some awkward sound this morning because I got all the way out here and realized that I totally forgot to recharge the microphone. We did a bunch of filming over the weekend for some partials for a couple of different projects. So the sound will be a little iffy today. So this morning's project, what we've got, this cabinet was shipped and it was discovered after the fact that they forgot the holes for the shelves. So we have slim panels, and the first thought was, well, we'll drill them in the field, but it never really comes out that great. And in this particular case, and I'll show you more of the house here in a little bit, this is a pretty high-end little deal. So rather than trying to make it work, I'm going to pull the cabinet down. I've got another brand new cabinet, carcass only, over here in the other room. Once we get this out of the way, then we'll bring that in and we'll replace it. So I'm not going to say a whole lot. I'm just going to jump on it and get the trim off. And I will set you back just a little bit here where you're out of harm's way. And I'm going to get after this. Now this one, I'm not going to take it off. I'm just going to take it loose, confirm that the nails holding it are no longer holding it. So that frees up our crown. Screw everything. And in this case, I'm going to pop off the doors just to make it a little lighter to handle it and less chance of damaging those doors. Now I'll mention real quick, when I'm taking off a 42-inch door, especially one that I'm going to reuse, I'll take the top screw, the bottom screw first. Then after I get a hold of it with one hand, then I'll pop that middle screw. It's less likely a chance that door is going to get away from you. These are pretty lightweight. Some of our doors can weigh as much as 15 pounds, 20 pounds, which isn't a lot of weight, but if you're trying to hold a slippery door with one hand, the more you can put in your advantage, the better. So that's all out of the way. Get some extra trim. I'll do my quick 30-second review on the original third hand, little hand. Piece of crap, don't buy it. I have, I think, 6 of these. Because I'm too stupid to quit buying them when I already know they're garbage. They've replaced warranted, I think they've warranted one, Amazon's warranted 2 or 3 of them. I finally just gave up, quit buying them. Yes, sometimes it works fantastic. When it works, oh my, look at that. You can crank it and up she goes. And you push a little release and you notice it's a little draggy there. If you have any kind of load on this thing, it's almost impossible to get that to go down. And if you're awkward up underneath, the other problem, and it probably won't do it seeing how I'm showing you, 9 out of 10 times, once there's a load on this, you'll go to put it up and it jams. Now you can't go up, you can't come down. The only thing you can do is always have this spun out just a little bit, that way, and that's supposed to be the fine adjustment. And I always spin that out just a little bit before I start so that when it jams, not if, I can still get it out of there. Unfortunately, I don't have a better solution to this yet. I mean, there's lots of things that cost $300-400, hydraulic lifts and all kinds of screw lifts. I'm still working on coming up with something that's this compact, that works easily, that works. Anyway, that's my little rant. But as for these things, they're flat garbage. So we'll pump this little guy up and we'll see if it actually makes it all the way up. Holy cow, it did. There, just enough to get the pressure on that nut, lift but just secure it. So next up, we're going to pull the screws. We're going to ruin a level. We're going out and get one of those. We'll pull the screws. Come over here. Now, I would rather have something a little shorter here, but in this case, I just use this because it's safe carrying one more thing. That's just there solely for the purpose of holding that third hand. Now, I'm going to take, let's see, how do I want to do this? These screws are out, so the cabinet's free on the sides. Third hand is there, so I'm going to take the three out. Those three out, but I took those three first. It's just simple physics. We're leaning against the cabinet here. We've got a screw there, we've got a support under, and that keeps that from going anywhere while I'm moving around getting ready to take it down. So now I'm going to kick my board out of the way just a little bit. I can get a hold of this cabinet here, leave it on the third hand, and that lets me have control with my first hand. Now, assuming this guy didn't put screws up top, which I really hope he didn't. Now I'm ready to release this, and it actually did release, I think. And we are totally free. So I'm going to lift up just a little bit to get it up off the crown, up off the third hand. I can kick that out of the way and slide the cabinet right out. And it actually didn't fall, it just tipped a bit. Okay, that one's out of the way. Nice job of painting the house before cabinets, huh? Okay, that one's out of the way. I'm gonna run over here in the other room, I'll get the other cabinet, and that way we are ready to go. See, I told you that was gonna wobble. I brought the other cabinet back, that's just off screen here. I'm going to pop the build-up off of it, we'll transfer it over and then we'll pull the measurements. There, that's how that goes. Alright, so we grab our gun. And we'll put a couple pins. 3 pins. On the front, we're going to bring this one out flush to the end. Yeah, it works really good for me to stand in front of it so you can't see a thing. So we're going to bring this right out flush to the end. You know what? I'll put that down just a little for you. There we go. That just makes that corner easier to line up when you're doing crown. In this case, I have the crown, already cut and fit. I don't care, but it's just not a bad habit to be in. Of course, that finger joint came apart right there, so we will have to push it back together. You'll always notice that I always tilt that gun slightly back, because if you have it catch, hit, whatever, if it's going to blow through the face of the cabinet, I want it to blow through the back. We don't want it blowing through the front. So there's that. Now we need to get our measurement for our screws to mount it. And I'm going to pull those off the other cabinet, which is 3.5 and 35. So we'll grab our drill. I'm going to come in from the side 3.5 and 35, and And I'm not going to drill that one because it's a corner screw anyway. Now, if you're curious how we figure out where do you put the holes, there's a little reveal on each cabinet. And I don't know how well it's going to show up, but there's a 1/4 of an inch reveal here between the side and the edge. Same thing here, we have a 1/4 of an inch between this surface and this edge. So this plus, well, that over on the other end is a 1/2 inch. We know we have a stud here because of the original hole and here because of the original hole. So we have 1 inch. If we take that half for that gap, we would have a 1/2 inch and looks like 31 5/8. So if I come from the side, I would come in a 1/2, which puts it in a 1/4, and 31 5/8, 3/4 is pretty close to the same. So I will set those toys out of the way, put my third hand back up. Now we're going to do just the reverse of how we got it out. So as I pull the shelves out, they add another 20-30 pounds. He says that it takes, what, 3 times that? Well, it takes a second to pull these shelves out of the way. And now I just dropped 20-25 pounds of dead weight off of there. Makes everything far more simple to maneuver. So we're going to do one more thing here. After we set it up here, get that curtain out of the way. We've got our corners off that protect it right up until you hang it. Because of the way we took it down is also the easiest way to put it back. So I know I've got a hole here at 3 inches. I'm going to put one back down here at 3 inches. So I don't tip the cabinet. That way I can put it back exactly the way I took it down. We're going to slide it up into place, let the physics and gravity hold it against that off of that third hand. I'll put that one screw in. That should have everything all lined up. I'll get the face frame screws in, check level, and then if I need to, I can always adjust it up or down a little bit. So, I'm going to set it up in place. I need to slide under that piece of crown if I don't want to knock it off, which I don't. We're going to slide it under the crown and then down onto the third hand. Or just knock the third hand over on the way up. There we go. We're down onto the third hand. We're mostly in place. We're going to come up just a little bit. We want to come back down just a little bit. Try that again. And this is where that screw on the bottom actually comes into play. One click is too much, and no clicks is not enough. So you can turn that whole unit, and it'll take that screw out until, oh, I went one too far there too. It'll take that screw out until we're exactly flush here. Right there. Now to hold it in place while I work, and I apologize again for the echoes in here. We're going to just put this one screw in there, just to hold that in place while I get all these in. These need to go first, really. If you were hanging this kitchen as a new install, you always do your face frames, then your back, then your face frame, then your back. It allows you to keep everything level. So, we're going to pull these together. throw a level on and see. We're actually a little high here. So, take that back out. Now that we've got it secured, we can crank our thread back down until we get everything level. Great. Oh, and there it is. So all that's left is to throw these other screws back in and mount our doors, set our shelves, and we will be out the door and off to the next item. One more hole to drill here. Right in the corner is where our stud is. You never drill actually in the corner, ever. Because of the way of the design of these cabinets, you can pop that back right out of that channel. And in this case, we didn't want it right in the corner. We wanted it a ½ inch. But it would be better to come even an inch off and drill at a slight angle. If you're going to have to catch that stud, it would be better to drill at a very slight angle away from that edge than it is to try to drill into the corner. It'll pop that right out of there and now the cabinet's junk. Now if you need to drill at an angle on this material, a lot of these cabinet companies, they're using a shiny and smooth material. It looks real pretty. If you need to drill at an angle, start straight and break through that surface and then tilt your drill after. Otherwise, you've got a real good chance it's going to slide right into the sidewall. Or at least slide across and leave a big scratch. Both of which we don't want. While I'm on the ladder right here, I'm going to throw these shelf pins in. Okay, ran out to the truck and got my trim gun. One of the things I tried to do is, especially on one that was painted after the fact, I try to match everything up as best I can. So we're still going to have a little bit of a touch up for the painters, but it overall won't be too bad. And I laid the trim down somewhere and lost it. Okay, we're going to pop the nails out of this. There's only a couple, but we'll get rid of those. Everything you can clean out from before, the more the better. Okie doke. Alright, I'm going to go up and we will start reattaching the crown. And just have some doors and we'll be able to call this one complete. Oops, we have one snafu here. There we go. When I put that upper piece back on, I got it a little snug. Okay, so just have to put the crown up. Okay. Flush to the end. Oopsie, I missed two microphones. I've pulled at least 40 nails out of this one little section. Hey, look at that now. It's finally going to stand up where it belongs. Okay, so we pull this in. Pull that corner. Nice and flush. Get our fingers out. Just like that. So let's get our doors hung and get our shelves installed. one pin out. We are done. So, we've got our little center supports here. Now, these things have been the bane of cabinet installers, at least from our company, for many years. If you look at this, one end has kind of a recessed hole, and the other end is a flat flush. This is made by a company for multiple cabinet companies. In our case, our company uses a long screw. We go in on the flat side. If you have a little short stubby screw and it fits down inside that hole and barely sticks out, you use the hole side. In our case, we always use the longer screw with the flat side because they believe it gives more strength. It also makes it easier to put it in. And the trick with these, you get your drill spinning pretty good, holding on to it with a thumb and a finger on that barrel. Get it spinning a little bit and then put some pressure on it. It'll go right in and it won't fly away on you. Okay, let's get some doors on it. Now hold that up into position. Put the center screw in. And I don't crank it down real tight because, like in this case, all the way down on that was off the screw hole here. I still have it a little tight. Get that top one. Boy, these are drilled all over the freaking place. In general, you don't set your door on anything if you can avoid it. You lay it flat, but never put the edge on if there's any way around it. Now I carry it in the crook of my arm like that, and I'm ready to put it in place. And angle it in just a little, and that holds pressure on your hole, or on your hinges. This side's drilled a little better. I'm not tightening any of these. I'm just getting them all started. We'll run them a little bit closer to tight. Like that. This one needs just a little. The only thing I'm going to do now is hold them together. Now in this case, we're off here. And we've got some hinge adjustment because this door won't quite close. But because it worked before, we know it can work again. So the second thing it can be is simply the in-out adjustments are bound up. So centered, centered. Let's see what that did. Still not quite there. So we'll loosen the hinge. Nope, it's not that one. Loosen the hinge. I'm not seeing the binding. There it is. That was all it took. So what I had is one of these hinges had tightened itself with just a tiny bit of a tilt. We crack all the hinges loose again and then re-snug them and allow them to find their own center, and now the door shuts fine. I need to make two other adjustments. This door is slightly crooked. So we're going to have to adjust all of this. So it's actually sagged down just a little. So, oh, we never tightened it. That could be part of it. Let's see if that helped. Not a bit. So, still sag down in the center just a little. So we adjust that right here. And I'm gonna have a whole video on door adjustment coming soon. Now, yes, it does rub. And your first thought is, oh, I went too far, but we actually didn't go far enough yet. So I'm gonna take this one out just a tiny bit. There we go. And there. Ta-da. So, that's all done. I'll have to get a little bit of putty crayon. I'm going to touch up some nail holes up here. Oh, hi there. Well, we are pretty much wrapped up here. I did notice that I have to put 2 more pins up top, and I'm going to pop those in. And there we go. So, a quick replacement of a single upper cabinet. Wasn't too bad. I got the door open. That'll be it for that one. Thanks for watching Papa J's Shop. I'm Papa J. You have a great day.